The crew arrived early because they always did when Anthony Hopkins was on set. Not out of fear. Out of respect. Call time was 9 a.m., but by 8:15 the sound department was already locked in. Cameras calibrated. Lighting adjusted to the exact shade Hopkins preferred. Natural, unforgiving, honest. This was not a chaotic production. It ran like a clock. Hopkins had requested it that way. He believed discipline was invisible until it wasn't. That a set either protected the work or quietly sabotaged it. He arrived at 8:32 as he always did. Not early enough to make a point. Not late enough to waste anyone's time. Script already marked. Glasses tucked into his jacket pocket, posture calm. He greeted the director. Nodded to the first AD. Exchanged a few words with the cinematographer about framing. Nothing dramatic. Just presence. By 8:55 everyone was ready. Everyone except one person. The co-star. The actor was younger. Not unknown but not proven either. He'd been cast for momentum. Recent buzz, a few loud performances, the kind of energy studios like to gamble on when paired with a steady anchor like Hopkins. Hopkins had said nothing during casting. He rarely did. But he had asked one question afterward quietly to the director. Does he prepare? The director had hesitated. He's instinctual, he'd said. Hopkins had nodded once. That morning instinct arrived late. At 9:07, a car door slammed hard enough to echo across the lot. A few heads turned. Then the smell hit sharp, unmistakable, out of place. Alcohol. The actor stumbled slightly as he crossed toward set. Sunglasses still on, jacket wrinkled, movements just slow enough to register as wrong. He tried to play it off with a grin. "Morning, everyone," he said, voice thick. The first AD froze. The director stiffened. Hopkins didn't turn. Not yet. Makeup rushed in, whispering. Someone offered coffee. Someone else suggested maybe the actor had been sick. Hopkins remained seated, reading. The actor was guided into position. "Let's do a quick rehearsal," the director said, forcing optimism. The scene was simple. 2 men. 1 room. Quiet confrontation. Mostly subtext. Mostly listening. The kind of scene Hopkins excelled at. The actor opened his mouth. Nothing came out. He laughed, rubbing his face. "Sorry, early morning." He tried again. Wrong line. Hopkins looked up. Not annoyed. Attentive. The director cut gently. "Let's reset." The actor nodded too eagerly. Yeah, I got it." They rolled again. This time the actor skipped an entire beat. Jumped ahead. Missed the cue completely. Hopkins waited. The silence stretched. The actor glanced at Hopkins, searching for help. Hopkins gave none. The director cut again, more firmly now. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Yeah," the actor said quickly. "Just didn't sleep much." Hopkins closed his script. That sound, paper meeting paper, was quiet but it carried. The actor swallowed. They tried again. And again. Each time the same pattern. Missed lines. Delayed reactions. Slurred emphasis. Hopkins said nothing. But everyone noticed something else. He wasn't compensating. He wasn't saving the scene. He wasn't carrying the moment to protect the other actor. He simply stopped. He delivered his lines cleanly. Then waited. And in that waiting the gap became undeniable. By 9:26 the director called a pause. "Let's take 5, he said. Crew dispersed quietly. No one joked. No one checked their phone loudly. The set felt colder. Not tense but disappointed. The actor sat heavily in a chair, head in his hands. Hopkins stood and walked to the window. The director approached him carefully. "I'm sorry," the director said under his breath. "I didn't realize it was this bad." Hopkins didn't turn. "This isn't about bad," he said calmly. "It's about readiness." Behind them, the actor laughed too loudly at something no one else said. Hopkins turned then. He walked not toward the actor but toward the director. "How much of today is dialogue?" Hopkins asked. "Most of it," the director admitted. Hopkins nodded once. He waited. The director hesitated. "Tony, we can try to push through." Hopkins met his eyes. "Why?" he asked. The director didn't answer. Hopkins turned and walked toward the actor. The entire set seemed to hold its breath. The actor looked up trying to smile. Hey Sully, man. Just a rough night. Hopkins stopped a few feet away. He didn't loom. Didn't scold. Didn't lower his voice for intimidation. He spoke as if they were alone. Do you know what time we started? Hopkins asked. 9, the actor said. Hopkins nodded. Do you know how many people were ready for you at 9? The actor shrugged. I mean, yeah. Hopkins waited. 112, Hopkins said. Each of them chose to be ready. That's the job. The actor swallowed. I can pull it together. Hopkins studied him. Not with anger but with clarity. I don't doubt that, he said. I doubt when. The actor bristled slightly. You think I don't take this seriously? Hopkins didn't raise his voice. I think, he said. You confuse confidence with preparation. The actor laughed defensively. Come on. I work better loose. Hopkins nodded slowly. That works, he said. Until it doesn't. The actor leaned forward. Look, I respect you. But this happens. People have off mornings. Hopkins looked around the set. At the crew, the lights, the quiet professionalism humming beneath the surface. This isn't an off morning, he said. This is a decision. The actor's smile faded. You judging me? He asked. Hopkins shook his head. No, he said. I am observing. A beat. You came here unable to remember your lines, Hopkins continued. Which tells me you didn't protect them last night. The actor flushed. That's not fair. Hopkins met his gaze. Fair is everyone else being ready, he said. This is something else. The director stepped in gently. Let's all breathe. We'll regroup. Hopkins nodded. Of course. But he didn't move. He looked at the actor one more time. This job, Hopkins said, isn't about talent. It's about trust. The actor scoffed. You saying you don't trust me? Hopkins answered honestly. Not today, he said. That landed harder than anger ever could. The actor opened his mouth to respond, but nothing came. Hopkins turned back toward the director. I won't rehearse this scene again, Hopkins said calmly. Not like this. The director stiffened. Tony. Hopkins raised a hand. I'm not angry, he said. I'm finished pretending this is workable. The actor stood abruptly. So what, you trying to get me fired? Hopkins finally looked directly at him. No, he said. I'm giving you a mirror. Silence. The first AD cleared his throat. Hopkins picked up his script. I'll be in my trailer, he said to the director. Let me know when the work is ready. He walked away. No shouting. No srits. No scene. Just absence. The set erupted into whispers the moment he was gone. The actor paced, furious now. Unbelievable. He thinks he owns the place. The director said nothing, because something had shifted. This wasn't about ego. It was about whether the day could even continue. By 10:02, production was officially paused. And by the time Hopkins was called back, or not called back at all, the 5 words he would say next, spoken quietly in a private office, would not only decide that actor's future on the film, they would end his career in a way no blacklist ever could. That moment hadn't happened yet, but it was coming. The meeting didn't happen immediately. That was the first mistake. Instead of addressing the problem head-on, the production circled it. Phone calls were made. Coffee cups refilled. Lawyers were quietly looped in just in case. The actor sat in his trailer stewing, alternating between embarrassment and anger, convincing himself this was a power play. An old legend trying to assert dominance. Anthony Hopkins waited. Not impatiently. Not dramatically. He waited the way someone waits when they already know the answer. At 11:18, the director finally knocked on his trailer door. Hopkins opened it immediately. He hadn't been resting. He hadn't been rehearsing. He'd simply been sitting, script closed, jacket folded neatly beside him. Can we talk? The director asked. Of course, Hopkins said, stepping aside. They sat. The director ran a hand through his hair. He says he can do it. He wants another chance. Hopkins nodded. I don't doubt that. The director frowned. Then what are we doing? Hopkins looked at him carefully. Tell me something, he said. If this were day 20 instead of day 1, Would you be asking me this? The director didn't answer. Hopkins continued gently. If this were a grip or a sound tech, or a runner who showed up impaired and unprepared, would you be negotiating? The director sighed. No. Hopkins nodded. Then don't ask me to pretend the rules change because someone is visible. There it was. Visibility. The director leaned back. The studio's worried about optics. Hopkins smiled faintly. Optics are what you worry about when you've already lost the work. A knock came at the door. The producer. She looked strained. We need to resolve this. Hopkins gestured to a chair. Then let's resolve it. She's Saturday, he's apologizing. He says it won't happen again. Hopkins listened without interrupting. He's young, she added. This would really hurt him. Hopkins met her eyes. It already has, he said. The question is whether it hurts the work too. Silence followed. Tony, the producer said carefully, are you refusing to work with him? Hopkins considered the wording. I'm refusing to pretend, he replied. Pretend what? That this morning didn't happen, Hopkins said. That preparation is optional. That discipline is negotiable. The director exhaled. So what do you want to do? Hopkins didn't hesitate. I want a private conversation with him, he said. The producer nodded quickly. Okay, that's fair. 10 minutes later, the actor walked into the trailer. He tried to look composed. He failed. Hopkins stood. Not to assert authority, but out of courtesy. Sit, he said. The actor sat. No one else spoke. The actor broke first. I said I was sorry. Hopkins nodded. I heard. Then what's the problem? Hopkins studied him. The problem, he said, is that you think this is about forgiveness. The actor frowned. Isn't it? No, Hopkins said. It's about reliability. The actor crossed his arms. I had a bad night. Hopkins nodded again. We all do. So, Hopkins continued. Professionals arrange their bad nights around their obligations. The actor bristled. You don't know what I'm dealing with. Hopkins' voice remained even. You're right, he said. And I don't need to. The actor leaned forward. Then why am I being treated like this? Hopkins answered simply. Because this set is not a rehearsal for adulthood. That landed. You came here unable to do the job, Hopkins continued. Not because you lacked talent. Because you didn't protect the work. The actor scoffed. You're acting like I committed a crime. Hopkins shook his head. No. I'm acting like you broke trust. A pause. Do you know how long it takes to build trust on a set? Hopkins asked. The actor shrugged. I don't know. A few days. Hopkins smiled faintly. Years. The actor looked away. Hopkins leaned slightly forward now, not threatening, not kind. Clear. This business forgives many things, he said. Lateness. Failure. Even arrogance. The actor looked back at him. But it does not forgive unreliability, Hopkins finished. Silence. The actor swallowed. So what, you're saying I'm done? Hopkins didn't answer immediately. He chose his words carefully. I'm saying this role is, he said. The actor's face flushed. Because of one morning? Hopkins shook his head. Because of one choice, he replied. The actor stood abruptly. You're killing my career over this. Hopkins stood too. No, he said. I'm not ending anything. He paused. You are, he added. Just not today. The actor laughed bitterly. You think this won't follow me? Hopkins met his eyes. It will, he said. Not because I'll say anything, but because everyone on this set saw who was ready, and who wasn't. The actor opened his mouth to argue. Hopkins raised a hand gently. Then he spoke the 5 words. Not loudly. Not cruelly. Calm. Final. This set requires professionals only. That was it. Noi lavoration. Noi incent. Noi mousgen. The producer exhaled sharply. The director closed his eyes. The actor stared, waiting for more. Nothing came. The meeting ended. By afternoon, the studio made the call. Quietly. They framed it as creative restructuring. They wished him well. They said the door was open in the future.